Good morning, and how's everybody doing this fine Sunday? How are you all getting back into the groove, thinking about back to life and reality tomorrow? I do know that some people won't have had the luxury of a couple of weeks off like I have had, but for a lot of us, it's now time to get back into the groove. And we're kicking off our challenge, obviously, with intermittent fasting like we do every year. Why? Because it's so easy to do. And I'm going to talk you through that. It's so easy to do, and it's so powerful. So it's like, why would you not do it? It's one of the easiest. The very first time that we did this, I realised that I thought I've been banging on about what you should eat, and then it turns out that one of the most powerful things is about when you eat. So that was a real kind of eye opener to me. That was probably a few years ago now, and but I think it's really important to understand, especially if you struggle with food. It's a one thing that you can do to help yourselves. And when you choose, so intermittent fasting, it just means you choose a window and you give the body the space in between waking and sleeping. You stretch the time that you have breakfast sometimes, and you stop eating at night. And that is the way that you give the body the time to digest. And when you've digested the food before you go to sleep, that means that the body, and this is Chinese medicine, from 10 o'clock on, the healing hormones start to flood in, and the body goes through a period that works with the clock of detoxing each organ. And then when you wake up in the morning, all the restoration and the repair's been done. And in the ideal world, you start your day and everything's hunky-dory. But of course, it's not always as easy as that, because sleep cycles get interrupted. We've got into bad habits with our sleeping, with our devices, with our food. And obviously, I mean, I love Christmas and New Year always. I mean, there's been a few hard ones that think that's the same for everyone. But in general, when life's quite nice, there's no grief, there's no stress or drama, trauma. It's a really great fun time. The kids, there's so much joy, so much laughter. And we had a brilliant one this year, which I'm very grateful for. Just such a laugh, lots of dancing, lots of singing. And just a breaking free from this, like, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. It's just exhausting and overwhelming and kind of takes away your joy of life. So I was just like, I know that I'm going to be working hard for the next year. I thought I'm just going to have an absolute ball to myself. Came offline for a lot of the time. Tried not to feel guilty, did a few posts, but nothing much. So it's really nice to break that habit and all these rules that we have in ourselves and the boundaries. But the reality is, we all know we have to get back into life and really forget about health and just think about today. You want more energy, more vitality, more clarity, and more motivation in your day. We all know that we need to rein in the bad habits. So intermittent fasting is just a super, super easy way to do that. And as I say, the first time we did this, I think it was about 4 years ago, the feedback that I got was mind-blowing. It really made me realise that when you eat can be almost as important as what you eat in terms of how you're going to feel, pain, energy, brain fog, etc. So if you have not tried this yet, and I know a lot of you watching this will have tried it and will be excited about it, because I think come tomorrow, we're like that, right? It's January. We need to get on it. The weather's beautiful. There's lots of blue sky, lots of light, which is the best thing for our pineal gland, for our vitamin D, is that blue sky, and that light really has a massive impact. So getting out for a little walk, the morning's a good time. We know that from Andrew Huberman's research. Eyes going from side to side. If you do EMDR, EIMT, you'll know that that's really helpful for letting go of stuck memories, etc. And then the key to your New Year resolutions, and we all know that most people we go into this great excitement in January and then they've all fallen off by February. But I don't think that matters, really. I think that the reality is you are a bit motivated, you are a wee bit going, look, I need to get back into my routine. There's something kind of healthy about that, helpful. And intermittent fasting is an absolute no-brainer, no matter what is wrong with you. Now, the kind of golden rule is no food an hour after you wake up and 3 hours before you go to bed. And that usually is the hardest time for people. So I'm going to give you a few tips as to how to circumvent that. Because what you mustn't do if you're trying to change your habits is you can't be hungry and you can't be trying to override hunger and ignore it, because eventually that is what's going to absolutely help you to break all your great intentions. So when you're like, right, when you switch off the satiety, switch off that, it's just like, I'm not hungry, there is no hunger here. You don't have to think about it. It goes away. And how you do that is with protein and fat. Now, I know there'll be vegans watching this and vegetarians, and you have to look at your fat sources and supplementation. MCT oil is a real no-brainer and has been shown. I'm not suggesting anyone watching this has got dementia, but if you're worried about that, it's your fats. It's now been known as the type 3 diabetes. And we know we need to get processed carbs and sugars out the diet to help that. But ultimately what it comes down to is your percentages. So we'll talk about that in a second. Let's talk about your fasting window. So if you go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, then you want to be finished your dinner by 7. If you go to bed at 11 o'clock at night, you want to be finished your dinner by 8. And then after that, you don't put anything in. Not one single wee chocolate, wee bit of bread, wee glass of wine. None of that. No calories at all. You can have herbal tea and you can have black coffee, which is probably not the best idea at night. But sometimes, you just need to, wherever you're at, whatever helps you, bulletproof coffee is phenomenal to have after your meal. This is like before your 7 or 8 o'clock window, because it will fill you up. And I will put the link to bulletproof coffee recipe on here. Now, coffee obviously gets a bit of a bad rap, like a lot of things do, but the reality is everything in moderation. Let me see. So how I make my bulletproof coffee is with MCT oil, butter, cream, the whole 9 yards. Fat it right up. You can put some coconut oil in there as well if you like coconut, but you want to get the fat right up, and that will fill you up and you will just not think about food. If you don't drink coffee, you can still make it in some kind of mushroom concoction, the mushroom coffee thing, which I'm just like, why do they call it that? It doesn't taste anything like coffee. But you find a way to get that in. You can make yourself a drink, because fat. So have that at the end of your meal. Make sure that you have your carbohydrates, and if you can, and if you can't, it doesn't matter. Start where you're at. If you're a junk food junkie, all you need to do is just get more protein and more fat in. So, lamb's a superfood. Pork, believe it or not, high in fat. All these foods that you were told never to eat. Morning, Paul. It turns out all the stuff that they told you. And again, always do your own research. And the best thing to do is research in your own body. Try it, because you will know how you feel. And you'll be like, oh, okay, that feels good to me and that feels easy. Because if you're struggling to maintain your protocols, they're not the right protocols for you, or you're trying to do too much all at the same time. So make sure your dinner has got lots of protein and preferably more fat and a lower percentage of carbohydrate. Even your real carbs, nature's carbs. The vegetables that grow below the ground have a higher starch level, and the vegetables that grow above the ground have less starch. So if you want to lose weight, Focus on the vegetables that are above the ground and berries opposed to lots of fruit, because that's another thing I'll talk about. So you've got your bread. If you can do 2 meals a day, which a lot of people do now, you have your brunch maybe at 10, 11, 12 o'clock. You can push that. If you're used to having your breakfast at 7 in the morning, have it at 8. If you're used to having 8, have it at 9. Just start for 1 week, push it an hour, then maybe try and push it another hour and a half. Just go gently on yourself. Do something that's empowering and doable rather than stressing you out and hating it. You're going to be like, oh, I didn't think I could do that, and I can do it. Again, you can have the bulletproof coffee in the morning, but that will break your fasting window because there's calories in that. But it's the fat level that switches off that need to eat. Then breakfast, you can have, obviously eggs are a no-brainer. Chia pudding, easy, cheap. Linseeds, nuts and seeds. I would just fill my basket with all that kind of stuff. Avocados, all the stuff. Using butter, using coconut oil, using MCT oil. And olive oil's great, but don't heat it. You put that over your salad dressings, put a little bit of salad, grate up some veggies, a brilliant salad. Ailsa Clark gave me the recipe. Carrot, cabbage, and raw Brussels sprouts blended through the grater thing with some olive oil and apple cider vinegar. Absolutely delicious, and it just gives you all that, these live enzymes. Juicing, I'm a big fan of juicing. It's great. It fills you up. It helps wash through, wash the nonsense, the New Year nonsense out the body. But also, if you are busy and you're going back to work, don't even worry about what you eat. Even if you just eat what you normally eat, and then just keep, one thing that you have to do is adhere to your fasting window. So it can be a really kind of just a bog standard 10 in the morning till 6 at night, or 11 in the morning till 7 at night. Sometimes if you're used to eating more in the morning, you might want to have your breakfast window earlier. This is sometimes what I'd do. I would eat at 9 and then I would stop eating at 4 because I'm had the luxury of being able to eat whenever I wanted. So I can eat at 4 and then not eat anything else after that. Find what works for you. We're all different. There is no one size fits all. But if you start off at 10 till 6 and then you think, oh, I could move that window in, or I could move that, or maybe I need to stretch it out 9, 15. It's you work out what works for you. So choose your window, try it, and then adjust it as and when. And forget about what you're eating. And the one, you might be doing dry January, I don't know. But people that like a glass of wine at night, so what about my wine? Well, just have it before 7. So you're not saying you can't have this, you can't have that. All you're doing is, the one rule is, I will not eat after this time and I will not eat before this time. Just focus on that one thing. Make it easy on yourself. And then if you are, what tends to happen at this time, people are happy to clean up their diet. Get the sugars, refined sugars, and the processed carbs out, the man-made carbs, bread, sourdough, the lot. Just get it out if you want to lose weight and gain energy, all of it, because there's so many sourdoughs there. Even if you're making your own, if you're addicted to grains, which a lot of us are, it's just easier to take it right out. And again, see how you get on. I'll have my sourdough starter and I can make a sourdough chapati. Just be one chapati rather than eating the whole loaf, because it's so easy to default to bread when you're busy. Toast, sandwiches, etc. And that's usually not going to work, especially if you're blood group O. So just take the grains out and focus on the fats and the proteins. So you can have a delicious breakfast of yogurts. Again, look out for your sugars, but high-fat yogurts, nuts, seeds, berries, avocado. And you can put a banana in there as well if you want. Just, it depends what you're trying to do. If you're trying to get your energy up and your weight down, or if you're just trying to get your gut diversity up, expanded, reduce bloating. Obviously, we know now that a lot of people, it's dairy and grains that cause the issues. But if you're not lactose intolerant, Dairy is a great way of getting your fat up. There's just no way around that. Making your own yogurts and cheese, of course, is ideal. Getting raw milk is even better. You're going to get your probiotics up. Getting your eggs from a local farm shop. The Good Food Project, get on there and get your food from there. It's just an absolute no-brainer. This is the time to start making the great decisions, because there's no point in greeting about what's in the shops. It's consumer driven. We are driving the market. So what we need to do now is go, oh, they're trying to poison us. Maybe they're not trying, but they are. I think they are trying. But anyway, that's a whole other live. So getting the quality of food up where you can, and getting the diversity up when you can. But again, do not overload yourself. If you're getting kids back to school, if you're working shifts and things are difficult, don't be stressing about that. Just the one thing, the window. So making sure that you're doing that window at night. So plenty of fats, eggs, nuts, seeds, avocados, mackerel, fish, phenomenal option. And you can have meat as well if you wanted to for your breakfast. Well, again, there's the kind of Atkins style breakfast. It's maybe not be perfect nutrition wise, but it absolutely gets the fats up. And don't fear fat. It's the quality of fat. And remember, you can add in MCT oil and coconut oil to things, and olive oil. Just sprinkle it over or pour it over to get your fat content up. Because what you do not want to be is hungry. You don't want to be thinking about food. So you have a good brunch, and then you're going to have your dinner at night. Now, dinner's obvious. You want to, again, it's not about not eating. Eat plenty of the right things. Now, what I did for the buffet on New Year's Day was I made the Brussels sprout salad, which is dead easy, and I made a big coleslaw, full fat mayonnaise. Have a big tub of that in your fridge. It'll last for 3 days anyway, maybe even more than that. And you can put a big scoop of that on with loads of raw veggies. You can put your chimichurri in it, which is simply coriander and parsley, again in an apple cider and a white wine vinegar with chilies, and you can put in garlic and put that on and make everything super tasty. And then have your meat, your whatever, venison, pheasant, whatever it is you can get. Hopefully you can get that stuff locally, because we're Scottish and that's what we'd be eating if there wasn't supermarkets, fish, etc. So usually dinner's pretty easy for people. They know how to make the dinner really healthy. It's breakfast and lunch that you get stuck with. But if you just put that into one brunch and no snacks, if you can, again, if you want to get your energy up, give your digestive system a rest and get your energy up and get the belly down, get the microbiome, that ecosystem that runs all the way through this body, where all these little microbes and the microbiome are eating and making things and repairing and restoring. The genius that is the body that is happening without us even knowing and understanding. All we need to do is give it what it needs. And then, of course, how are you feeling? What are you thinking? Are you thinking about what you want or what you don't want? And I'm going to be doing videos on that to help you through January. So it's the time. I know everybody says, oh, New Year resolutions. Most people are motivated at this time, especially when the sun's shining and it's blue skies. Everybody's on it, back to the gym, and there's a really good feeling about that. We have to get ourselves through January. We know that the light's starting to change. Things are going to get brighter. And maybe if it has been a difficult Christmas and New Year for you, because, it can be. There's been a lot of grief in our village with the loss of one of our young friends to a fire. It's brutal, the pain that you can be going through, and how do you, on a daily basis, just manage yourself, manage your grief. And, grief's a very normal part of being human. And, I always think when you lose weight, you're losing cells, so you're losing part of yourself. It can be quite a challenging process to changing, because we like the comfort. and it was such a fabulous Christmas and New Year here, seeing all the people in the community, so much love in the air, everybody having a great time, generations all together, my grandsons, and it was just amazing. But so we like what's familiar, but also we also know if we want things to be different, we need to change things. And our whole perspective around why we're here, being kind, being kind to each other. And that can be challenging, especially when you're family, and especially when if there is grief around, you can treat each other very badly because we become very separate when we're in grief, and it's very can be challenging to realise, oh, I'm feeling like that because of the external world. So learning to manage the internal and the external. So I'll be doing a lot of videos on that over the next month. I'll be coming live to you from Skye, from our second pop-up healing centre. So excited to be back there. So excited that so many people that came last year are coming back this year, because it says a lot about the space that we were in and the workshops that we created and the education. And remember, if you want to come to Skye and you can't afford it, just drop me a message and tell me what you can afford. I don't care if it's a tenner or whatever. If there's a space, I'd rather somebody was there than we had an empty space. The first retreat's full, but we've got the fasting retreat, we've got the microbiome retreat, and then we have the 528 retreat, which is a new one that I'm putting in. Just all about the love from the heart and the love tuner. So phenomenally exciting month ahead for me. And for those who are, struggling a bit, there'll be plenty of videos to help you. The intermittent fasting, regardless of what you're going through. I know it's really tempting to drink and eat your feelings away, and I've done it and probably will continue to do it now and again, but the intermittent fasting is going to help you sleep better. It's going to help you feel better. It's going to reduce bloating and symptoms. It will reduce chronic pain. I mean, it's mental, even if you don't change a thing about what you eat. And then obviously in Skye on the 18th of January, we're doing a 3-day water fast. We'll start with a nice meal, and then we'll go into the fast, and then we'll break it together. So it's just such a great transformational experience. Honestly, incredible, the difference. And it makes you go from like, I can't, and people come a bit scared, a bit nervous, and then they're buzzing by the time they leave, and they realise that a lot of the fears were completely illusional. And just doing it in a group, it's fun. Slick and where we're at is just spectacularly beautiful. We've got the energy of the rivers and the waterfalls and the energy of the mountains. Even if you're just sitting in front of the log fire looking at it, you're going to get a huge benefit from that. So if there's any questions, please feel to pop them in the box right now. What are you going to eat? I'll be posting breakfast ideas, brunch ideas. If you want to carry on with your 3 meals a day, that too is absolutely fine. Just have your breakfast that little bit later. Maybe sometimes I'm up at 5 a.m. So it's 9 o'clock breakfast is still 4 hours for me. And you can have a black coffee in the morning if you want to. Some people like to cut coffee out altogether. I'm saying if you want a black coffee, have one. Because it's the digestive system we're giving the rest to. And then how the body, when you go into the state of starting to burn more fat, there's a myth that says the body heals, you need to drink water. You don't. Because when you go into autophagy, the body will self-eat and self-heal. Now, I'm not saying don't drink water. Do drink water. But when you dry fast and then you're going into fasting, depending how healthy you are, and if you've got all your internal organs working, the body will do it for itself. It's incredible how genius this is. And with the burgeoning rates of sickness that we have, this is probably the best thing you can ever learn, is how to fast and know that you can do it. Start with intermittent fasting. We'll maybe chuck a wee 24-hour one, and you can join us online from Skye if you can't get there. Join the 3-day fast with us. It's so empowering, and honestly, I promise you, most people find it easier than they think. Liz, how do I keep up with the Facebook Lives and the fast, please? Well, just join the hub, follow the page, and it'll keep you posted. I think there's a thing you can click somewhere to say alert me when Lilia goes live. So yeah, and look at subscribe to our calendar. It's free. It'll keep you up with all that's going on. We're going to be going live from Skye. I'm not quite sure exactly what and when yet. You might need to ad-lib that a little bit, but anything that I feel can benefit you guys at home that can't come to Skye, I'm going to be punting that out live. Hopefully you saw my chat with Linda Stevens this morning about women's health. Absolutely mind-blowing. She's incredible. And she's going to be coming up to do the microbiome retreat, and then I'm getting her to hopefully stay on for the 528, and we'll do a little bit of chat around women's health. She has a wealth of knowledge and literally has lived the experience of all her pregnancies. Morning, Ainsley. Happy New Year. Great to see you. Paul, is fantastic to see you all on here. Yeah, shaking off the cobwebs, getting back into it. I'm up at the Health Hub tomorrow for the whole week till next Saturday, and then a drive to Skye to start and get set up for this month of a pop-up healing centre. Educate, inspire, support, join our community. We have a community where we are teaching you all the incredible things that you can do for free. What happens when you get an infection? What happens when you're getting recurrent infections? What about candida? What about UTIs? What about kidneys? What do you do when you don't want to take antibiotics? What do you do if you get a cancer diagnosis? How do you work all of that and more? Ivermectin, fenbezidol. We're getting all these experts into our community. I've just put the link up there. It's a $5 a month. All that money is going to be going to promote this movement. The biofeedback therapies that we have at the Health Hub, we're looking to take them in. There's places popping up all over the country. I'm going to be talking to the guys from Noor Wellness tomorrow morning at 9. Again, discovered oxygen, PEMF and red light is making a huge difference to their health. Then opened a place to help others. That's how it goes. We're breaking free from our grip on pharmaceutical companies and needing experts that have been in uni for 8 years. You may need them on occasion, but for most of us, chronic degenerative situations and wanting to just stay well, the biotherapies are where they're at. It mimics nature and brings that life force, that electrical charge into your body at a cellular level. There has never been a more exciting time for a change in the health picture, and we're going to spread this like wildfire all over the country to make sure that everybody who is awake and alert and understands can access this technology, which is truly game-changing. So, intermittent fasting, let's recap. Choose your fasting window. If you're an intermittent faster and maybe you've not even gone off the rails over Christmas and New Year, you just do it anyway. Well done you. Maybe you've done it before and kind of let it slip. Regardless, and maybe you've never done it before, start off with your 10, 8, 6, 16, 8, 10 in the morning till 6 at night. That's when you eat all your food. And I'm saying don't snack. Have a big brunch and then have a big dinner. But if you need to snack, snack away. The only rule is 1 hour after you waken and 3 hours before you go to sleep. And then you can shorten or expand your fasting window in there. Get your diversity in as well. Diversity is interesting as well because if you are suffering from chronic fatigue and long COVID type things, fibromyalgia, kind of anything that you're really low in energy, and I know this from what happened with my daughter, don't change too many things and don't give the body too much to do. Gentle, gentle, gentle. So something like, for example, mince and potatoes, if that's what you normally eat, just eat that. Maybe cut down on the starchy white potatoes, put a little bit of sweet potato and carrot and turnip in there. Make adjustments. If you need any special help, pop your questions in there and I'll answer them. But I'm going to be busy for the next 10 years. I can't do a lot unless you come and actually have a consultation with me. I can't answer a lot of DMs. So please just pop it in, come into the circle group. and we'll answer you. You'll have a whole plethora of healers in there giving you their take on how you can solve your health issues. Because trust me, what we're seeing with the biotherapies is nothing short of miraculous. It has given me so much hope. Now, I don't want to say it's going to heal everybody, because there's a lot of things that involve you doing things. There's maybe a lot of emotional stuff, a lot of trauma there in the past, but we have so much information to help you. It's so exciting that if you've been suffering for a long time, there is still hope that you can charge the body at a cellular level and give it the energy to get over that healing hump. So I'm going to be there Monday to Saturday. So if you want to come in and have a consultation, you need to book, because we're pretty busy and we're just back and everybody's going to be in. There's a gym there too. There's far infrared saunas. There's the HBOT. There's a hyperbaric oxygen soft shell chamber. There's EWalk, where you go on the treadmill and drink the pure oxygen. There are the showers and the lasers for red light. There's the full 360 Theralite bed, and a lot more, a lot of experience. This place has been open for 3.5 years. They've been doing this for a long time. They're seeing the results. If you're post-stroke, post-heart attack, post-surgery, please, performance, injuries, come ask the question, can you be helped? Absolutely. And we're going to be running a ball in May to raise funds to subsidise people who can't afford it, because we know that's an issue. This stuff should be available in the NHS. Maybe one day it will be, but we have a plethora of experience up there. And what we don't have, we're going to call in virtually. So we're going to have an all singing and dancing health and wellness centre like never seen before in our country. Truly holistic, truly no competition. You know, we may need you to hold on to some surgery or some drugs. We may not. In the future, we'd like to see that we can break free from anything that's going to potentially harm the body, and can set your cells free so you can be lighter on an electric magnetic level and tune into different data streams of information. But most of all, have faith in your body and your innate healing capacity, because your body is designed to heal, and you should never, never, ever be living in fear of that thing. It is incredible. So most of all, we're going to teach you to love the body and release all fear around what it's doing, because all that it's doing is trying to harmonize and rebalance. And if somebody comes in and takes a photo of that and then gives you a story, it can change your trajectory the wrong way. Your body is always striving for homeostasis, for balance. And it's a lack of understanding, a lack of knowing that everything the body does is information. It's telling you the headache, the rash, the bloating, the whatever it is, the pain, the lump. It's like something's out of balance. What do we do with too many toxins and not enough nutrition? And nutrition comes in a myriad of forms, not just through the mouth, through the light, through what we're thinking, what we're drinking, what we're feeling, what we're perceiving. Yes, Ainsley, you're one of my absolute inspirations. Thank you for trusting and coming. It's just been phenomenal to see the difference in you. And that's what's given me so much hope for so many people. And it'd be great to get your testimony up, actually, if you'd be willing to chat about it. That would be awesome. Okay, guys, any fasting questions before I go? Or if you're watching this in replay, get them in there. There's tons of information on YouTube. You know, fasting like a girl. What's right? Should I do it in my period? Should I do it in this? Should I do it when I'm in the menopause and the perimenopause? The mind will want to almost say, maybe I should. What if this isn't good for me? Well, if you're sick, something's not good for you. We need to change things if we want to change. Sorry, the C word. So, and it's more fun to do it together. So tell us what you're eating. Send us your recipes and your inspiration and your ideas and your testimonies. All of that and more. Really hope to see some of you in Skye. Remember the deal. If your heart desires it, you can be there. Never let money stand in the way. And have an awesome Sunday. And I will chat to you all soon. Ciao.